Hey everybody, it's On Screen Off Screen back with another episode.
Here we go, talking all the things that we love to know, from books to movies, games we replay, taking what we see and bringing it our way. On screen, come along.
We have kind of surprised because we had two basically shared topics this time. First one is going to be Clarksons Farm, and I would like to hear from Josh first on this one.
Yeah, so for me, I just finished the second half of season five. It continues to be on its current trajectory for the season. It's not necessarily as much about the farming in this one, it's more about automating farming, getting out of farming. We have a couple of surprises with it, and like season four or episode four and episode eight are just really, really sad. Um, Now that it is finished, I can talk more openly about that. I alluded to that last time I talked about the season. Um, in episode four, they get rid of the pigs, and it's very, very sad. And they have a cow that gets a inconclusive test for strip, and they slaughter the cow. And then in episode eight, we
Oh,
find out the cow didn't have it, and we find
that
out that Jeremy
sucks.
Clarkson was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh man.
And the cow was pregnant with twins, and they were very sad about it. And it was the first cow they ever got for the farm. So,
Dang.
The first one they ever birthed.
yeah,
So it's their first one, their first calf they ever had.
yeah. So it's like this whole accumulation of like stuff that is built up over all of the seasons at this point, right? They get the pigs in season two. I don't remember exactly when.
I think they got the pigs last season.
Okay,
That's
four.
with
I don't remember.
Hammond.
It doesn't really matter, but like that comes back up. They decide they're not going to continue with the pigs, so they say goodbye to the pigs. And when they were getting rid of the pigs, I was like, this is so sad. But like, they had one particular one that was a, what do you call it? Small
Run.
one, a runt. Yeah. And they named him Richard Ham, and the entire time I was like, "What about Richard Ham? Did they get rid of him?" And we had to wait all the way till the end for them to be like, "And we saved Richard Ham, and we got him a friend." And I was like, "Yes."
Yes.
But yeah, it's very interesting to see all of the like effects that are happening at this point, um, because he's Jeremy Clarkson and he has a business. Like, there's all of these like cascading effects of this is happening, causing the city council to do this because the public is doing this because they're doing that. And just like it's not as much about the farming, but I still really, really enjoyed this season. I'm going to rate it 9.2. I really, really
Okay.
liked it.
Um, is his cancer serious? Like, and
It
the show
doesn't
serious?
say in the show what particularly it is. They say it's aggressive cancer, but they caught it early. Since recording the episodes, he has been like just within the last 3 days of recording this episode, he was given clean bill. Now, that doesn't necessarily
Oh,
mean clean bill. That means he's gonna go from having monthly check-ins to like every 3 to 6 months. They're gonna do blood tests and whatever. He also released post the show that it was prostate cancer, but not particularly what stage it was in.
okay. Hey, all right. I think I'll go next and then we'll end with Lauren. I've watched the first half of season one of Clarkson Farm, and I have never been more wrong about a TV show ever in my life. Ever. This show is great. Like, truly, actually great. Um, I don't even understand how it's as good as it is because it's just kind of a old man getting grumpy with himself that he's not better at things, but then he's so humble and just wants to learn and grow. Like the first episode where he's got the ginormous tractor and he can't fit it into the barn was so funny. There's like, your tractor's too big. He's like, I don't think it's too big. It's just funny, and the show goes over and over with that concept, and he doesn't know what he's doing. He gets frustrated with himself. He thinks he knows better, like the part where he's tilling the land with the tractor in the first episode. And he's like, I bet I could just like turn and then I can come back and fill in those spots. And his lines are like, is so funny. And he's entertaining the entire time. He's charming. Like I said, he's humble and wants to learn. He wants to grow, and I think I love that aspect of the show. He's an entertaining personality. Like, I never thought ever. I grew up farming. I don't really like farming. I do it. I like appreciate people that farm, but I don't enjoy it. I didn't think that I would like this show. Really, truly did not think. I know you guys were raging about it, and I'm like, I'm gonna try it. I didn't think I would. I'm hooked. It's got me. It's very funny. It's very charming. It's very cozy. It's not my thing at all, and I'm still giving this thing a 9. Shocked by how good this is.
So, are you open to phase 2 of the coziness effect of this show?
Sure. What's the phase 2?
Okay. So phase 1 is giving the show a chance and loving it. Phase 2 is watching the show on your second monitor while you play Farming Simulator on your main monitor.
I'll try it. I will try it. I will try it. This show, I don't know. It should be this good. It should be this good. All right, Lauren, what about you?
Okay, I actually have to disagree with Josh on a few points.
Oh,
I also watched the was it season 5?
Yeah.
That just came
Yeah,
out.
season 5 is the
Season 5, and I think it did because like normally it's him trying something new on the farm and it not working. And so his new thing for this season of trying to do stuff was he tried planting onions in a field, and 5 onions made it because they didn't have any rain. It kind of sucked this season because it really wasn't his fault why everything went to crap because they just didn't have rain for solid months. And in England, they don't really have sprinklers or irrigation and stuff because they have rain. And the previous years, they had way too much rain. And then this time, he plans for that. There's no rain at all. And then when they start trying to harvest, it starts raining on them. And they're like, we can't have anything. Yeah, Josh.
Yeah, so I'll add a little bit of clarification. So like yes, he is trying a new thing. The new thing is automating the farming, right? He gets a couple of robots. He is trying something new on the farm, but he himself is not doing anything particularly different, right? He's not plowing a field. He's not planting the onions himself. He's not learning it, right? His thing is doing it the automated way. And like my favorite episode is when he travels to Norway, Finland, something like that, where they
yeah.
see the like hyper tech farms. Like those are super super
Yeah,
cool.
the
And-
precision farming.
Yeah, and he learns a lot, and he implements those changes on his farm or some of them. Right.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
saying
kinda
it's
awesome.
not about farming. It's just not about him doing something, right?
Him
And you
doing
said
the
it,
stuff,
right?
yeah.
Because he doesn't mess it up because in this episode he had a robot do it. A robot did it exactly how it was supposed to do, and it all just came down to the fact that they had the driest winter and spring that they've had in like 75 years or something. Like,
It was funny when they're doing the silo. It was Caleb, not the silo. I can't think of what the machine is that does the actual harvesting. But anyway,
Harvester.
I don't think that's what they called it. But Caleb was in it for the first time because the person who normally does it had retired. And so they started out with Jeremy catching the grain, but then they switched out for his wife because he had the procedure done. and his wife did a better job at it than he did. And then finally, when Jeremy came back, like Caleb was like, I missed the camaraderie, but I'm actually gonna call your wife to come finish it because she's a better at it. And she showed up because she was like, I'm having fun with this. Like, I love driving the tractor. And I feel like this time it got a little bit more personal because you did have like these stakes of Jeremy, like finding out he had cancer and things like that. And then the fourth episode, when they sold the pigs, the reason why they were done with the pigs was because Jeremy had picked the pigs because they were rare pigs. So since they're rare, they'd be in higher demand, right? Well, they were rare because they get too fat. And so when you go to butcher them for like bacon and things, it's mostly fat. And that's not what you want for your bacon. You want some fat, yes, but you mostly want meat. And so they're like explaining to him, they're like, we can make these into really expensive sausages. He's like, dang it. So he sold all of his, that's the reason for getting rid of those pigs. But I think they were planning on getting different types of pigs. And then, and then with their, uh, they bought easy care sheep, but then they still had some of their, as they put it, hard to care sheep. And there was one that like they're like, we have a, a, a baby Jesus in the field. Like what? What? This sheep just gave birth. There hasn't been a ram, so Jesus is back. And they're like trying to. He's like, well, how would this work? And they're like, oh well, before you weaned off some of the sheep, some incest probably happened, and that's how you got this to happen. And he's like, or that's Jesus. He's like, we have to accept this possibility. And it's like, um, yeah, it was really funny. I really enjoyed this season. It was really interesting seeing like the precision farming because they run this machine that will read the soil as it goes. So in one field, it will then show you the map after it goes over the whole field, and it'll say like this is good soil, this is worse soil. And then they have a new machine that they went and were like going around the field, and it would distribute fertilizer where it needed it more and where it needed it less. And so you could
That's
see it
super
like
cool.
adjusting in real time to it. And so it was really cool. And then they also went to like a zoo to go get the fertilizer and stuff. So they like went and got rhino fertilizer for the field. And I really liked that how Jeremy went to these other farms to see how they're doing it. One was like this eco farm that was insane. It was so cool. They had like all of the waste of the city came and brought them like their bread. And so that's how they fed the cows. And the cows were like on this floating thing that they could go on and off of. And then underneath the floating thing, so it was like underwater, so it was temperature regulated. They had like all of their cheeses and everything like that. They had solar panels off to the side. It was super cool. I think like the cows milked themselves. Like they just knew when they like needed to be milked, would go into the machines, go get milk, then go back out to pasture. So it was like totally automated, super cool. And so Jeremy took all of these ideas and then implemented it onto his farm. So he was going to the zoo to get the fertilizer. So it was like um, helping out there. And then, yeah, anyway, so I really like that he implemented those things. And then there was also, I loved how Caleb hated the drone that would go and hit the pesticide because he's like, no, my tractor can do that. I can do that. I love doing that. Let me do that. And Jeremy's just like, he's like, no, you can do this from like the safety of your car. 8 minutes, it's fine. And I was like, stupid, it's just dumb.
So, fun fact about Caleb. Caleb is famously very anti sheep. You'll find this out, Conlon. When they first get sheep, he does nothing but bitch about it for like 3 seasons. He's like, I hate those things. They're the freaking worst. Clarkson gets the easy care sheep. And there's this interaction where he's like, if I were to have sheep, those are the sheep I'd get. he did a press release a couple of weeks ago. He liked the Easy Care sheep so much he bought some for his own farm as well. So he's like, still hates sheep. He is very still anti sheep, but he's like, I can't complain about these Easy Care sheep because they're easy care and
What makes them easier?
um I think it's just something genetically where you don't have to baby them as much with
Okay.
reproducing and shearing them as much. And you don't have to do as much like vet stuff. I don't think you have to pay for as many immunizations because they're more naturally immune. Is there something else I'm missing, Lauren? I'm
I
just
think
kind of spitballing.
it was mostly the shearing. Like they
Yeah.
did not need to be sheared as much, and like in fact at all. I don't think. Um, and then yeah, they were just
Behaviorally, they're a lot more like sheep are already packy, but they're even more packy. So like when they were finally able to round them up, it wasn't as much of a hassle. I know people that raised sheep, and you always had like one or two you had to go chase down. But yeah,
yeah.
I think that's it. I think it's just easy care by definition.
Cool.
Yeah. There is I also love the part where there was a lot this time where it was like Jeremy sitting down with people and talking with them about like how things have been going since he's gotten the farm. And I liked the bird lady. She's so cute. She
Conlon,
had
you're
like
gonna hate the bird lady. You're gonna hate her so much.
Do you hate her?
No, I'm annoyed with her because, well, she's an activist, and she shows up at the farm to say you can't plow this field because you're going to kill these rare baby chicks. And so Clarkson goes through a big effort of hiring thermal drones to fly over the field to find the heat signatures so he can still plow the field on time without hitting the baby birds, only to find out that they're just still warm pieces of sheep shit. And the thing that I think is going to irritate you about it is she's just so extreme about it that, like, when she finds out that he already plowed one of the fields, she has to get out of the car to throw up.
Really?
Yeah, she is extreme with it.
she's passionate.
She's passionate. She does some really sweet things, like she hand draws some birds and is like, "This one's you. This one's Caleb. This one's Lisa. This one's I forgot his name. The money guy."
Oh, no, I can't think of his name. I love
I've
him.
only run into him
Yeah.
once, but I can't
Yeah.
remember his name either.
Anyway, so she does some like good things. It's just like that level of extremeness to me is like, okay, you knew this was a farm, you knew what you were going into, and you had such a egregious reaction. Like, there, I think moderate your activism, I think, is a good message to be doing, and she doesn't. But she does also have a really cool story where she went to Africa, she found this rare bird. The rare bird's house got destroyed by whatever, I don't even remember what it was. So she took the baby chick and tried to nurse it. In doing so, it decided to nest in her hair, and rather than kill the bird or get rid of it, she let it use her hair as a nest until it was well enough to take off and fly. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. I mean, like, would I do that? No. Do I have enough hair
No.
to worry about that? Also, no. But, like,
I would
hey,
totally
good for
do
you.
that.
That's cool for you, you know?
Never. I would never do that. I'd be like, Bird, you're getting out of my hair right now. We'll build you another nest, but you are not staying in my hair.
I
I'm
would
not
lord it
sleeping
over
with a
everybody.
bird
Like
in
this
my head.
bird chose me.
No.
You're jealous.
No.
It lives with me now.
She lived in a tree. I think it was for like 3 days while it was nursing. back to life, and it was like, yeah, good for you, lady. Like, good.
She's
I
She's
like
stuck
living
to
good
her
for
her best
you.
beliefs.
life.
Yeah,
She's stuck to her beliefs.
yeah,
Crazy lady.
for sure. But
I
yeah,
love her.
there's a scene where her and Caleb get into an argument, and I think that's going to be pretty irritating to you. But otherwise, I think she's a wonderful person, and like she does a lot of really cool stuff that I wouldn't do, like I mentioned. But
Well, and that's the thing that I really like about Jeremy is there are so many characters in this series, and he is respectful towards all of them.
mhm.
And that's I really like Jeremy for that.
There was one scene I didn't feel was respectful.
Ooh, which one's that?
It's at the very beginning. It's in episode 1. He goes to the bar and he's like, I have to deal with personnel issues. And he goes to this, I don't know, 16-year-old girl. And he's like, what have been people saying to you? And they're like, they've been calling me uh, Caleb after the transition.
Oh,
And so he just like looks at the camera and it's like, look, this is something I have to deal with. And I felt like there was just two interpretations of that. I think one interpretation is the real interpretation, which is like, isn't this disgusting that this person deals with this just because she's associated with me and Caleb? Or two, it was a joke. And he was like, isn't that funny?
I took it as the first one of
Me
him
too.
being like that. So like him being like that's not cool that people are bullying her for
Right. But he didn't
being associated with
he
this.
didn't say it. He just was like, he just looked at the camera. He didn't turn to her and be like, that's disgusting. That's terrible. I'm
And
sorry you have to deal with that.
also, that could have been an edited thing because it wasn't necessarily like the camera panned. It was
For sure.
that, and then it cut to
Yeah,
him. So, but everything else that I've ever seen is him respectful. So that's why I took it as the first thing.
for
So if
sure.
anybody
Like I
takes
said,
it as the second,
I believe
that's
it's
on
the first. My point is,
yeah,
it's not clear that it's not the second either with that, right? Like I
yeah,
could see it going either way on that one. But every other
yeah.
time, yeah, activist shows up, government,
Because
whatever. Even when it's the stupid BS, like dealing with his cow, he still complies. He still does it. He still respects that
yeah,
that is the process.
yeah, and he explains why he thinks it's rubbish, but he's not like you're stupid for doing this. He's just like
Yeah,
I don't understand. He's like, see, because like the cow's running away, and he's like, but this is you could squish it if you wanted to. So he's like, I don't understand why this is why we're measuring this. But he's
yeah.
not like you're stupid because this measurement could be off, and like you could tell he was very frustrated with what was going on because anybody would be, and it was
And it wasn't
quite
even like definitive. It was
right. Yeah,
barely borderline inconclusive test results, and he
yeah,
still
and
had
then
to slaughter his cow.
according to how they run things down there, if it comes inconclusive twice, they just take the cow, which was pregnant with twins, and they're like, well, can we wait until she delivers the twins? Then we can test the twins. And they're like, nope. That's why we asked like how far along it was. Nope, we have to slaughter it all. And they're like, and they don't have a choice with that. Like here in America, you could be like, f off. This is my cow. Like I'm gonna do what I want. They
You
don't have a
can't
choice. It's the
actually,
law.
but yeah,
Well, yeah, but they like it's yeah, so they had to go slaughter it, and then when they tested it post-mortem and realized it didn't have TB, they're like, oh, but we're still putting a lock on all of your other cows, like all of your other cows are still on lockdown.
That
because
would
they
piss
could
me off
still possibly do it.
so
Yeah,
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, so he's like, not only did you take my pregnant cow with twins, but I still can't do anything else with my other cows. And they're like, yeah, sorry,
I'm
that's a thing.
surprised he didn't push for like a blood test before they slaughtered. But
Yeah, that's what I was surprising to me that they don't do that firsthand. Like if it's like, oh, inconclusive, then it should be a blood test. Like you should make sure because that's so wasteful. Um, but yeah, so that was kind of hard to watch, and that's why it was like sad for episode 8. But then again, going back to our nature loving lady, I love like how patient he was with her because then he started making these bird houses so that he could house these like rare birds, and then he was like trimming the hedges or not trimming the hedges. I can't remember which way he went, and then it made it so that it was easier for. I think he was trimming them,
That was in a
and it,
previous season. That's, I think, season
previous season,
4.
yeah,
He was
yeah.
trimming the hedges, but his mentality was, I'm going to leave the gaps in the trimmings bigger so that their parents could feed them easier. And then at the end of the season, we have an expert come in and be like, well, what's actually happening is other birds are coming in and eating the baby birds
Because I made a bigger opening
because
for
it made a
the
bigger
baby
opening
birds.
for it.
And he's like, here I thought I was helping him. And they're like, yeah, just let your. So then he goes to the other side of the pendulum and just lets them grow wild. So it's really bad. But it did help the bird population. And when she, at the end of the thing, she was going over how many birds she heard. She heard, was it 49 different species she
I don't
found on
remember the
its.
exact number, but he has six, no, 8 of the 12 rarest birds in Britain.
And one of
Wow.
them, she's like, oh yeah, like it's amazing to have four of this type of bird in any area. She's like, there's been zero in all of these other places. And she's like, but you have 19 of like the super rare bird. And she's like, you're basically housing the whole population here in Britain. It was, and so, yeah, she was really happy with his birding. And then, oh, and then his daughter gave them these birds that were super loud. And he's like, I feel like this is retribution for when I got her daughter, my granddaughter, the loudest toy I could find for her birthday. So she gifted them the loudest chickens. Except they're not chickens, they're
Pheasants.
pheasants. So funny.
They're really annoying. They're my least favorite bird in Hawaii, too.
Yeah. Anyway, I really enjoyed this season. It was I felt really bad for um, Jeremy because he was attached to the pigs. And then he was attached to like the cow. You could see him going around. He's like showing pictures of when she was a calf and stuff, and being like, "This is our first." And I was like, "That is the sucky part about ranching." I don't know if I've told this story on the podcast, but my mom loved to name all of the cows, and then when they came back from slaughter, she would write their name on their packaging. And so we would have like hamburger meat that says Molly in the freezer. And I'm like, Mom, this makes us look so bad. And then when we're like eating at dinner, she's like, guess who we're eating? And I'm like, Mom, this is so bad and probably contributing to that childhood trauma. And she's like, well, I just don't want you guys to feel bad. And I'm like, I can dissociate. I don't need you to remind me that I'm eating lolly from Field 7, okay? But
Do you
yeah,
guys want some good news?
yes.
For the low, low price of $7 million, you can have 1,000 acres in the Cotswolds and
Ooh.
be neighbors and be farming buddies and maybe get on the show.
So, with that, like, you would be involved with the show simply because Jeremy's whole thing is uh, food raised or grown in Britain. So like whatever you're doing, you're probably going to sell at least something to him for him to use in his shop or pub. But yeah, I don't have $7 million, and if I did, I still wouldn't spend it on that. But that
No, let me
is
just pull out
something.
my spare 7 million.
I
Well, if
mean,
you
just
have
a
spare
little
7 million, I'll take it. But
look at all that land. You could totally build your racetrack on that. Easy.
then I wouldn't be farming the land.
You would be farming most of it. Unless your racetrack is ginormous.
Excuse me, you would be farming or a farming.
Just every day.
Yeah, I would give this season in particular. Um, I don't know that there was anything that I disliked about it. It was a really weird ending, but it was real. So, like, I'm not gonna take it away, but I do feel like they then tried to make it a little bit happier when they're like, and Caleb's baby.
I was angry at that scene. So at the end of each season, they do their picnic with everybody who's a member of the farm. And they're like, this is what we learned this season. These are the highs, these are the lows. And they insert clips along with it so that we feel the emotion as the audience. And in season 5, they get to the end and they're like, it's really hard to come up with wins. And I was sitting there like wanting to scream at the TV, and I was like, Lisa is a better tractor driver than an F1 driver. And we're not going to mention that. We're not going to mention that Lisa fell in love with farming or that she was successful with her snails or any of this, So I was mad that they didn't give Lisa her props because I was like, she
Yeah,
was the standout this season.
yeah.
Have I met
Um,
Lisa? I don't think I met Lisa.
Lisa's his significant other partner. She's not
Oh,
as big in season 1, but she just grows and becomes a bigger
okay.
part as the show goes on.
Is that the one that Lauren said he's married to now?
He's not married to her,
Oh, okay.
but probably is who, like, they're not married because they're both, it would be their third marriages, and they both have
Okay.
kids, and they want to keep their last name with their kids. They're essentially married, but they're not legally married.
Okay. Cool. All right. Clarkson Farm, really good. You guys should watch it. Very worth your time. With that, let's go to a shared topic, which I'm going to go first because a little bit ashamed on this one. I have tried watching this movie for years, multiple times. I have watched like every 2 years. I try to watch it. I tried to watch it 3 times this time, and I fell asleep every single time. Part of it was I was in Canada and been hiking all day long, so that probably made me tired. But literally, I just can't get through this movie. That I should be into this. The ideas are interesting. The whole figure out the alien language is interesting, but damn, I just can't do it. Um, and that's too bad because I genuinely want to watch this movie. This seems like a movie that I would love, but because I only got about halfway through it, I can't rate it. So mostly it's going to be these two guys that are going to talk about it. Unfortunately, because this is very much a my kind of movie that I just can't seem to get through. With that, let's go to Lauren first.
okay, so I remembered I'd seen this before, and then when I was watching this again, I was like, this is so slow. The beginning is so slow. The cinematography is really slow, and I feel like they're wanting to do that on purpose for like a reason of being like, oh, we're getting to the aliens. Ah, we're slowly getting to the aliens. I'm like, just no one cares. Just get to the aliens, okay? um, and they have like a lot of dramatic landscapes, which I'm fine with. But then I feel like they lingered a lot on the like faces and things that I think they should have just gotten to the point. Uh, to the point that like I remembered the first time I watched it that I just skipped until I saw it. And because then once it gets to that point, when they go to the aliens a second time, I should say, it starts to get a little bit quicker, with like them trying to figure out the language and how they communicate. And then it comes to like this point where you realize throughout the movie where you think she's like having flashbacks or something, you realize it's really like flash forwards and it's like throughout her whole life because the aliens don't talk in a language that's like whatchamacallit, linear. And so you find out, spoilers, I guess. Are you ever gonna try to stay away
I
from this
literally,
movie?
I literally watched some review stuff because I was like, this sounds. I knew the basic premise, and I watched the reviews, and I'm like, this sounds like such an interesting, my kind of movie. Why can't I watch this? So I know, I basically know the story.
Okay. So then there's like kind of that little thought after you watch it that you find out that she knew she was going to get married to like her her coworker, and then that they were gonna get a divorce and all of this stuff, and then you like wonder why she went forward with it anyway. And then it's like makes you think like, oh, if you knew your future, would you try to change it or would you go along with it, and stuff like that. And then I did remember thinking that it was a really cool idea for a tattoo, the little circle things. I was like, if you got something that like meant something to you and you got it in the thing of the circle.
That would be cool.
But yeah, it's like I think it's an interesting movie. Um, I think it's a very slow movie. So I don't know that I would like put it up there with like the best ever. But I mean, like I said, if people like when Josh mentioned it, I was like, yeah, watch it. Like if you want to watch it, I say watch it. But I don't necessarily think I would ever be like, you know what we would want, what we should watch tonight, Rival. And once again, I found out that I really like the soundtrack to this movie because as I was watching it, all of a sudden I was like, that song is on my playlist. And I was like, oh, interesting. I guess when it said Arrival on that song, I didn't think that it was from the movie. So, anyway, I really like the soundtrack. Um, Specifically, it's like the very first song that plays in the movie. I really like that song.
The
Um,
reviewer that I was listening to said the acting is particularly good. Do you agree with that? What do you think?
I think it is good. I think that the camera does not do justice for them, because I
Okay.
think it lingers on them for too long. And so, like, they're giving, like, good good reactions and stuff. And when they're trying to get into the space shift and there's like that gravitational shift or whatever, they focused on Amy way too long. But she was doing like a good job of like acting and everything, but it made it awkward with how long that they leave people, that they stay on people for their reactions and things. And I'm like it's believable acting, it's good acting, but you need to cut away from that. You can't just focus on that for 5 minutes.
It
So
just
I do
makes the
think the
entire thing
acting's
feel
good. I
slower.
think it was brought down by their staging choices and cameras. So I would give this movie a 7.
Okay. Okay. All right. Um, is there anything else you wanted to mention about it? Do you like who's the main guy? What's his act? What's his
Jeremy
name?
Renner.
Yeah. How did he do in it? What do you think about him?
Um, it's. I remember the first time I watched it. It's because I knew him as Hawkeye,
Okay.
and then he's still kind of like this cocky person. Um, but for whatever reason, I can't stop thinking of Hawkeye. Um, so I think I don't know that I can really justify his acting or not because the whole time I'm just thinking Hawkeye. But I think he did a good job as Hawkeye. And an
That's
alien.
fair enough.
Uh, yeah,
What
he
did
did
you think?
good.
What did you think, Josh?
So, for me, I am genuinely shocked at how well rated this movie is. Um, Tomato meter, it is 94. Project Hail Mary is also 94.
Okay.
The audience score is 83. And I think that Lauren is mostly right in everything she's been saying. I do think that when I was watching it, I felt like, man, the pacing is slow. Um, they are not necessarily pushing this narrative forward all the time. There's some stuff that it's just like, look at how cool this scene is. And I totally get that. Where I disagree with Lauren is with the direction and camera angles and stuff, mostly because Amy Adams does kill it. Like, I could see her point being completely valid and spending too much time, but she plays a disheveled, exhausted person, and you can just see it on her every time. Um, in the beginning of the movie, she's somebody who's kind of given up in life, and she's going through the motions. And then she starts to gain a little bit of life, but then she stops sleeping and resting and dealing with XYZ, whatever. Um, Jeremy Renner, he's not just Hawkeye to me, so that was really easy for me to be like, that's Jeremy Renner. With his character, I feel like his writing was a little bit weaker, and I was like, man, if Andy Weir was in the room just to write Jeremy Renner's character, it would have elevated this movie so much because, like Project Hail Mary, you're learning alien language, and instead of it taking a mathematical approach, she's taking a linguist's approach. But Jeremy Renner is a physicist. And I was like, man, if he could have had that extra tweak to be a little bit more physicist-y in the Andy Weir way, it would have elevated that character for me quite a bit. All that being said, I still really, really, really liked this movie a lot. I'm surprised people agree with me. That's why I'm surprised. I thought people would come out of this and be like, it's slow, the music's good, but like whatever. But I still loved every second of it. And when I got over it, when I finished watching this movie, my thought was, this is vindication for me. This is vindication that Project Hail Mary could have been the movie that I wanted it to be and still been good. We still could have had that feeling of discovery and layering all of these things together because that's all this movie is. It's like the scene in Project Hail Mary, the book, where they're learning language and speaking with each other and problem
It's the
solving.
whole movie.
Discover. It's like just that section of the book, but a movie. And I was sitting there like, I knew it could have been good. Everybody else is wrong. That Project Hail Mary couldn't have been better because it could have been like this, and I love this. Um, it for sure does have those errors. Like I said, it can feel slow for sure, but for me, it was slow, but in a good way. I felt like it was slow on purpose, not slow because they had nothing to do. Um, it was that discovery. It was problem solving. You saw Amy Adams with in a room where these circles, which are just really pretty art, like they could make such a cool tattoo, but they're like just surrounding her room, and then you cut over to Jeremy Renner, and he's a physicist, so he has math, and he's at a computer doing whatever, and you can totally look at that, and be like, that's a nothing scene. That's not necessary to this. But on the side of that, you have the Amy Adams Jeremy Renner relationship progressing, right? They start off not caring about each other. And Jeremy Renner is like this happy, like, I'm a physicist and I love what I do. And I'm so excited to go talk to aliens. And you have Amy Adams being like, I want to do this, but also this could be the worst thing to happen to all of humanity. And they play off really. I thought their on screen chemistry was great. The scene where she takes off her hazmat suit and they start freaking out. And then Jeremy Renner just looks at her and then is like, well, F it. So he starts doing it. And like we have a scene where it says Jeremy Renner's character walking, and he walks to be like, this is that, right? And it's like, that's another, like, oh, it could be nothing seen, but you see their teamwork, their camaraderie, and just more of them together on screen, which I thought was really, really good. Um, Go ahead, Lauren.
I do want to say that, like, what I'm saying about, like, the cutting down is not necessarily, like, cutting out scenes, but that a scene can be shorter. Because, like, it will, like, Amy Adams was hyperventilating in the suit, like,
No, I
for the
totally
scene.
see what you're saying, right? I
Yeah.
agree with that. It could be that way. I'm saying I'm happy it wasn't that way.
Because, like, I think all of the scenes are necessary. I just don't think that the length of the scene needs to happen. Like, when they were driving there, it had her, it, like, was just focused on her breathing. I counted for 20 seconds, and I was like, you could have easily done it for 10, and you still get that, like, her freaking out and then that thing. And so, like, for whatever reason, it would, like, get me to the point where it's like, oh, point made, you're losing me. And then the scene would end. And then, oh, point made, and then the scene would end. That's,
And I think most people would agree with you. That's why I'm surprised that it is an 83 audience score. I'm saying for me, it added to it. Right? We saw not just her freaking out, but we saw the buildup of anxiety by doing that. We saw the slow methodic, like that. That's what it was to me. So, like, I see what you're seeing. I'm just saying, like, for me personally, and I don't think most people are this way, which is again why I'm surprised the audience
it
liked
did so
it as
good.
much. It's just it really worked for me, even though I can look at that and say, yeah, I see what you're saying. They could have done that. But
What was your rating?
I'm actually was gonna give it an 8.3, which is right on what the audience score is within 83%. Because, like, I really liked it. It's not like a high rewatch thing for me. I definitely wouldn't go to a group of people and be like, we've got nothing to do tonight. Let's watch Arrival so we can sit and listen to the score for these really long scenes, you know? Um, but, like, will I rewatch this? Yeah, if somebody wanted to watch this with me, would I watch it with them? Yeah, absolutely. Um, it's just gonna be more like a 5 to 10 year rewatch, not necessarily a yearly or every other year super frequent kind of rewatch. Because
With
it's that way.
do you remember what your Dune ratings were? I'm just curious about the directors because the director who did Dune did Arrival.
Dune Part 1, I gave a 7. Dune Part 2, I gave a 6.8.
Okay. Have you seen Blade Runner for 2048?
No,
49, sorry.
I have
Okay,
not.
cool. I'd be interested if you like those two, if you like that show. It's got a very similar vibe, and I do like Blade Runner. But anyway, interesting, guys. I should honestly try this one first thing in the morning sometime because it just seems like a movie I would love. But I just keep falling asleep. Anyway, I'm glad that you guys got to watch it. I'm glad you liked it. I'm sorry that I sucked. Um, anyway, guys, that's going to be our episode. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Watch Arrival early in the morning or on like a ton of Red Bull because apparently it is a good movie. Clarksons Farm is fantastic. We appreciate you guys. See ya. Bye.
And next
Oh,
week we're watching it.
next week. Dang it. Dang it. Next week we're watching The Last Rodeo. Peace.